Hello, my name is Amanda Davis. I'm a PGA assistant professional at Essex County Club in Manchester, Massachusetts. My husband's the head pro. We're co-owners of our golf shop there. And this video is going to go through the online golf shop we created. And we created it a couple years ago for our Christmas business with the current situation and the need for all of us golf professionals to adapt to the situation at hand. We've reactivated this website to be a little bit more of a year-round golf shop website for us. We have been getting emails and calls from our friends in the industry asking how we put it together, why we chose Wix, and I thought that it might be most helpful for us to create a visual video on how we created it and why we chose Wix. So the first video that you're watching now is going to be for those who are still trying to decide between Wix and some of the other options out there like Shopify or Square. Um, so we'll go into that in further detail. And then the second follow-up video that we'll be putting out shortly will be more of the how-tos to get your shop up and running in a reasonable amount of time.
I also wanted to share that while I've spent a ton of time working on Wix and creating this site, as well as I've done a few others on there, I am by no means an expert. So I will do my best to answer your questions, but I am just talking about my firsthand experiences using it.
Um, I find Wix is the best for creating an online golf shop for a few reasons. The first one being you don't have to collect payments online. A lot of the other options out there make their money by credit card fees. In this case, we use Wix. We don't have a credit card input set up in our checkout, so it's really just assumed that it is a member charge. If there's ever a member that reaches out wanting it on a credit card, we adjust in that circumstance. But for the most part, it is going straight on their member account. This also gives the club a little bit better optics that this isn't just an open website for anyone to use and purchase from. The next item would be the option to password protect your homepage. Right now, our website is open, but typically we have it password protected. Again, for the same reason as the first point, we want it to feel like a private club. We don't want it to feel like anyone can come up and purchase an Essex hat or shirt. So that is a nice feature to utilize. Wix is probably the easiest and most options for customizing than anything I've been able to see. Of course, that kind of makes things a little bit tricky because you're trying to pare down what you actually need. But on a positive note, you're never going to be frustrated because you can't do something with Wix. One example of this, we have a golf shop newsletter on our homepage that we are updating monthly. So, and just another point that people can interact with other than just the shop. We are adding some form of online lesson information. So, if you're looking for a long-term option for your golf shop website so that it really truly feels like you can offer all of the same services you would if you guys were open, I would say Wix is a home run in that regard. And again, so more than just a retail site. So really, the sky's the limit. You can do as much as you want. You'll see in the second video, you can go as far as have member logins to your site that people can create an account, see past purchases, have credit cards saved. You can go as far as you want to be a complete professional looking site. Um, and you're probably not going to use all of the options right off the bat, but it is a nice long-term option for you. So what to expect? Lots of time. This is not the quickest option. I've dabbled a little bit in Shopify. I feel like it's much less choices, which is not always a negative thing. If we're trying to just get something up online, you know, Shopify might be your best option. If you know that this is just a month or two of temporary online golf shop, and it's super tedious. I am not linking my inventory. We use Jonas. I'm not linking that inventory with my online site. I'm kind of curating and picking and choosing the items we want. So that being said, it's super tedious. I've kind of quoted a few people 3 or 4 days of solid work to get this up and running. But if it's your first time ever using the software, it might be very frustrating, and Shopify might be your better option. So that you kind of need to figure out on your own. But so one of the challenges we had with Essex was when we put this up 2 years ago for Christmas. This was towards the end of the year. Our size runs were pretty pieced together. We were trying to get some FaceTime for some sale items that we were trying to get online. So it got very tricky. I'll share on the next video some possible solutions to that. But when you have both brick and mortar shoppers coming back, ideally, hopefully, we all hope so, but and utilizing this online site, it can be extremely tricky managing that inventory. At Essex, we typically bring in about a 2-to-1 medium, large, extra large size run, but sometimes we bring in less. So we might have one size available for that shopper. So continuing to try to get better on this, but I did want to say for those people looking at this long-term solution that you really have to dedicate one person to this. It takes a lot of hours to check your inventory, make sure it's correct. But if you're going to do it, I mean, I think that it's a really nice option to use Wix. So a quick summary of how it's worked at Essex. Just touched on that, but I also want to add that it is a lot of work. For me, it was a lot of work with minimal gain during the sale season. I felt like it was a positive thing, but I didn't feel like it was directly related to how much I worked on it. And I did find that some of the Instagram content we had, and we did like a shopper's guide, some of those items were probably slightly more successful. Um, I would say the more you can market on social media and really start creating those positive experiences of word of mouth, the better. But I was really looking at possibly just moving on from our website, but with the current situation and it being the only way people are shopping, I've gone back to it. So it's not all been this perfect situation where we're doing amazing on our online sales. Um, and I did want to uh, manage your expectations, I should say, with that. So again, it's kind of repetitive, but Wix, if you're looking for the long-term option, if you're looking for really a site where you can completely customize everything, make it look to your aesthetic at your private club or wherever you're at, I would say Wix is your option. If you're looking for a very short-term solution, Shopify is great in that regard as well. I hope this has helped a little bit. We're going to, on the next video, talk about your template, your aesthetic, and formatting. We'll also talk about just the basics of creating your store, creating your inventory, etc. So that will be a little bit more video on Wix showing how I navigate that. So tune into that shortly. Thank you. All right, so if you have any questions about this first video, please reach out to me on the email address on the screen. I am happy to help as much as I can. If you have a specific question that I didn't cover on this first video on why to choose Wix over your other options, you can also visit our golf shop website for yourself to take a look at the formatting and how we organized it. Thank you.